Welcome back to Sledgehammer Horror, guys. I am Ken Sledge, and let's talk horror. Today, I am joined with part 2 of the amazing Final Girls. Now, joining me on this second half of this amazing journey is the beautiful trio of Destiny, Stephanie, and Bessy. How are you ladies doing today?
Hello. Oh, good.
Awesome.
Great. Thank you so much for having us. This is
I'm enjoying this new apartment.
Yeah, the apartment looks beautiful.
Thank you.
I just want to say real quick, like, obviously you guys have already seen the first episode with the first 3 Final Girls. To have you guys on now, this is so incredible to me because, as I said in the first episode, I'm a huge fan. And I originally reached out to Stephanie and I was like, hey, what you guys are doing is super sick. This is dope. I would love to be able to work with you guys. And how genuine it is to watch you guys, you know, that didn't grow up necessarily horror fans reacting to these horror movies. Let's start with you, Destiny. How did it feel to get approached for this? And what is it like for you to be a part of this?
Well, frankly, an honor. I'm always so excited to be working with our director and producer. It's always a privilege and a pleasure. And, the world was getting kind of scary there for a little bit. And to be approached with like, hey, there's something that you can maybe look forward to and something creative where you're not just trapped in your home all day. And it's like, oh, maybe that sounds good. So it's just been so much fun. So wonderful. I was, in the very beginning, a little apprehensive because you don't know everyone that you're going to work with. But this team of ladies is phenomenal. They're so much fun. They make me laugh the entire time that I'm not screaming. And it's just perfect. It's an amazing project to be working on. And I feel very, very fortunate.
It's truly, truly amazing to watch you guys. Because like I said, I think I end up taking it for granted because I grew up such a big horror fan. That feeling of watching something for the first time, and especially these movies that I've watched since I was young, and watching you guys watch them for the first time for me is such an amazing experience for me to watch. So what about you, Bessy? What was it like for you to become a part of this project?
I was super stoked. I think I got a message over email. It's asking me about would you like to be in a channel to watch horror movies? And I was like, heck yeah. I really like horror movies. Though I haven't really been very exploratory with it. I've been very adventurous with it. Mainly I was anime horror fan, and then I kind of wanted to step out of my comfort zone and try some other type of horror a little bit, the slasher. We've been doing quite a bit of slasher, and I'm scared of blood and gore. That's not something that I would do by myself. I feel so fortunate. I have movie buddies to watch it with.
Right.
Yeah.
That's another good thing is you're watching these movies, but you have your friends here with you watching them. So it's not like you're alone in this.
Yeah, I love so much.
I have actually taken it upon myself now, though, for some of the episodes where I find out what we're watching, and I've actually, I'm going to strap my balls on now and catch myself up and watch them with my cat.
Yeah, what I love is
you get used to it. Yeah, you want the company, you get used to it.
What I love is the fact that as you were saying that, your cat was meowing like, she's a pussy. She's a pussy. Don't listen to her.
She agrees with you.
Don't tell on her.
That's so odd. It's just funny. Like the cat. Yeah, the cat was just bullshit. Meow, bullshit. So what was
she really has no
Stephanie?
balls. Don't listen to what she's saying.
Yeah.
When you were approached, Stephanie, what was it like for you? We want to do this channel, which has surpassed 1,000 subscribers now, which in the grand scheme of things, I know a lot of people are like, oh, that's not that important. It's super important. When I did that, it meant the world to me. When I hit 100, I was bouncing up and down off the walls. So you guys hit 1,000. I'm so fucking proud of you ladies because it's a genuine ride that people take with you. Because if we haven't seen these movies and we're watching them with you, we get the reaction of watching you, which can kind of calm us down a little bit. If you're watching a scary movie in the dark, some of the screaming and the Friday the 13th episode comes to mind. But watching what you guys do, it really is influential to people that are in the horror genre because we take for granted a lot what this is. So what's it like for you to get approached for this, Steph?
Oh, it was interesting because yeah, I was basically asked, so Stephanie, do you watch horror movies? I said, I do not. And they're like, you're perfect. You're perfect. I'm like, I said, I do not. They scare me.
You're scaring me. Yeah.
Right. And
That's
that's
great.
actually
You're
what I love.
perfect.
Like, yeah, people actually like the horror is so important to people. Like, we'll spend 3 days dressing up like Freddy Krueger to go to a convention, like
Yeah.
that's how much horror means to us. And I said it on the last episode, but I wouldn't spend 3 days dressing up like Ryan Gosling from The Notebook to go to rom-com con and pick my wife up. Like, if you're a bird, I'm a bird. Like, it wouldn't
That's so
happen
right.
like that, like I just wouldn't do it. And don't get me wrong, I love The Notebook. I love me some Ryan Gosling. Like, what do you want? I get it, bro. I get it.
Yeah.
But
So I don't know. And then coming in, and like I said, we didn't know each other, but we watched our first movie, and the area that we recorded at was super creepy. And I remember at the end of the movie, I was like, okay, I don't know these people. I'm like, I really gotta pee, but I really don't want to go into that bathroom by myself. And one of the other girls looked at me.
Yeah.
One of the other girls looked at me. She goes, "Oh my God, me too." She goes, "Will you go with me?" I was like, "Yes."
that's so awesome. And I'm saying this now. I said this on the last
We
episode.
bonded really quick. We bonded.
I think I was the one who asked that. Either that, or I also asked someone else to come with me. So
I think it was Tara Shawn. I think I went to the bathroom with Tara Shawn.
I think you guys are sitting there like,
in bathroom
which
buddies.
one's gonna ask to pee first? One of us has to ask. It's not gonna be me. I'm not the scary. Oh, she asked. Yep, I gotta pee too. I'll go with you to make sure you're safe.
Exactly, and that's kind of how it was. But we bonded so quick, and we bonded so quick. Even on that the first night we recorded together, and I was just like, this is such an amazing group of women. I mean, none of us one up each other. It's like a sisterhood. It's like we've become family, and it was like it was pretty much overnight. It was like, I love these girls with everything I've got, and and I love this. I'm having such a fun time.
I felt lucky I was able to watch the first movie with you guys, because that was the one I swore I would never watch again. I swear I would never watch it again. And then I was like, oh my gosh, he's actually pulling it up. I'm like, okay, at least I have people. Like, I'm not alone. like the first time.
Yeah, and I've had it's been a blast riding, going on this roller coaster of a ride throughout all these movies with these girls. It's yeah.
It was really neat. And those first moments too were super organic because we all come from really diverse backgrounds and have way different occupations and education. And so coming together that first 10 minutes of meeting, and Tara Shawn she's like, oh, here's my music profile, and here's this, and Stephanie's like, oh, and here's my modeling profile, and I'm just like, oh my God, like I'm super intimidated, and I can't remember if Tara Shawn's like, oh, so like, how did you get into horror stuff? And I'm like, well, I never watched horror stuff because I grew up super religious.
Oh, and me too.
All three of us all at the same time, oh, me too. I'm like, oh yay! Like we grew up super religious and super straight edge.
I love the fact you guys are like, yeah, we all grew up super religious. Jesus Christ is Lord. This is awesome. Let's go watch this guy get his face cut off. This will be fun. Let's do it.
Yeah. Super religious. Let's go pee ourselves.
Right. See,
like, now
I do want to say, I said this on the last episode, and I mean this with all my heart. I am petitioning for you guys to either watch House from 1986, which was my first movie, my favorite horror movie, or Sleepaway Camp.
Oh my gosh. Oh my God. I've been hearing so much about Sleepaway Camp. Yeah, I'll be so down for that.
Lots of people are really excited for us to watch those.
Yeah.
Is the House been one that's been suggested multiple times?
Multiple times, definitely.
Which one?
Sleepaway Camp.
Have any of you seen Sleepaway Camp?
No.
Listen, do not watch it. Do not read anything about it. Because, like,
we actually don't.
The end of that movie is going to blow your fucking mind. You're going to be like, what? Like, a random slasher.
Is it going to be...
And comes and you're just like...
I think one of the endings that has, like, thrown me off the boat the most, and literally that was the Friday the 13th number one. Like, like the coming out of the boat scene. It was like, what the hell? I was like, we thought it was over. Everyone's like happy, survived. The girl's like resting, and then boom, like never mind. Just kidding.
Yes, I watched that one by myself. I watched that one.
Oh, you were there with us. Oh my gosh.
I wasn't there with you guys. So when I found out you guys watched Friday the 13th, I was like, okay, I'm gonna put my big girl panties on and I'm gonna rent it off of Amazon Prime. And I sat at home with all the lights on, of course.
Oh my
Every
God.
single light on.
That's so scary. Yeah.
My cat in my lap, and I watched it.
It just caught me by surprise so much, that scene, because you were totally unprepared for it. Like totally, you thought it's over. It was like, oh, the girl like go like a machete cut off that woman's head, so everything's over. Like nothing could go wrong.
Yeah.
And we'll tell you this, to me, in my opinion, Sleepaway Camp is Friday the 13th on steroids. I think that Sleepaway Camp is a better Friday the 13th. I think that the characters are much more genuine, they're more realistic. I think the killer is great. I think that it has one of the best exchanges of dialogue I've ever seen in a movie.
Eat shit and die, Ricky. Eat shit and live, Bill.
Now, like I said, I know that horror is not your number one. It's not the love of your life. It's not your Ryan Gosling. But for now, I do want to go back to the past and talk about how horror started.
They have Ryan Gosling. I'll take Lenny Kravitz.
Oh, there you go. I do want to know
big crush.
For the first time ever on the channel, mark this down. I'll be talking about a movie that we don't know, and that would be Destiny's first horror movie. Now, a little bit of a disclaimer here. I want this genuine. There's never a time where I ask someone, make it up. Just think of something. I want this genuine. And her first horror experience is something that she could tell you about, because I'm not going to. You're not here to watch me. You're here to watch them. So, Destiny, why don't you guide us a little bit about the story of your first horror movie?
Absolutely. And if someone can find this for me, I would be so grateful, because I have told so many people, like, what movie is this? And no one knows. So I'd love to learn about it and maybe get my girls to watch it with me. That would be awesome.
That would be fun.
My first horror movie, I don't remember how old I was, but it was young, probably 6 or 7 or so. And the only reason, like I said, I grew up religious, but the only reason why my family would have watched this is because my mom loves aliens. She loves aliens. Any alien movie, she likes, aliens. She likes that one with Mel Gibson, Signs. She loves Signs. She's seen that so many times. So I know that's the only reason why we watch it. But it's these aliens that come to Earth, and they need electricity. They thrive off of electricity and power. So they decide or figure out that humans have electricity. When our brain and our synapses are exploding and we're thinking, we produce electricity, like Matrixy sort of. So these aliens are killing people, capturing people and killing people and taking the electricity from their brains. And the real one part of the movie that really sticks out to me is that there was a mean guy who was like sarcastic and mean to kids, mean to his dog. So, he's got to die. And,
yeah.
and the aliens made noises like static electricity. So if you're really quiet, you can hear them coming and you can scoot away. But this asshole was mean to dogs, goes to sleep. He's like, I don't know what's going on. Something. I'm mean to people. And he puts earplugs in his ears and goes to sleep. So everyone else is figuring out that these aliens are going to come up and do something. But this asshole has earplugs in. So he gets his brain snatched. And that's what I remember.
Two things about what you just said, I absolutely adore. One, you're like, he's mean to kids. And he's mean to his dog, so he's got to die. You're like, kids, we can get past that. Well, fuck the kids. But dog,
not the dog.
No. When I was a kid, that was very important to me. Like, I've never been a huge Disney person, but I distinctly dislike Mickey because early Mickey was mean to Pluto.
Mm-hmm.
Like they would go camping together and he'd yell at Pluto and you do this and blah, blah, blah. And Pluto's just trying to do his best
Bad
dog
Mickey.
himself.
Bad
And
Mickey.
Mickey's
Destiny canceled Disney years ago. She didn't get on this cool train now. That shit was done a long time ago. And
Yeah, her
also,
kid's
from
not
now
watching
on,
Disney.
like, so
because
I like
of
Mickey
you,
Mickey's
guy.
Destiny,
awesome, but Mickey's
because
mean
of
to
you,
Pluto.
from now on, when I go to bed, I'm going to come up to my room. I'm going to take my shirt off and I'm going to go, I'm a big mean guy and I'm going to bed. And then I'm going to lay down and go to sleep. That's going to be my nightly routine now. No sit-ups,
Well,
no
you
push-ups.
know what?
I'm a
You're
big mean
welcome
guy.
to your wife.
And then
You're
I'll put my
welcome.
earplugs in. So I'm going to try to bounce questions off you, Destiny, but it's obviously going to be kind of hard with us not really remembering much about the film. But Bessy, I'm going to go to you real quick. Your first horror movie was?
Okay. I was trying to catch your attention when I saw What's Behind You. That was the movie that I first watched that scared me so much. And funny enough, it really wasn't a horror movie. It's The Mummy, and it's the Brendan Fraser version with Evelyn and what's her name, Rachel Weisz. I fell in love with her. She was my first girl crush, like serious girl crush.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that's it. Okay, not number 2, not the Scorpion King, but the very first one. Yeah, and I think I was like 6 or 7, like you, like mentioned earlier, and I was so young. And my parents got these VHS tape home, like just super excited in showing it to us.
Right.
And actually, I'm sorry, let me backtrack. They were super excited to watch it themselves. And then we were going to bed. We were like sticking around, like, hey, what's up? What you have in your hand? Like, what you got tonight? What kind of entertainment? And then they put that in and they just started the movie thinking that we're going to be scared away. Like, we're going to like get bored of this, get out, like walk out after 10 minutes or so. It was a really good movie.
Documentary or something?
I think my parents just thought that like it's not something that we would stay around and watch because it's not like a cartoon, and we were always watching like cartoon, anime, and stuff like that. But like it was interesting. Like I stick around. I actually love watching it, but boy was I scared. I was shaking like a leaf. Like I literally was shaking like a leaf. Like especially after the scene where Imhotep, the name of the guy, come around and start like sucking the juice or the life out of this other character, the first one to die. And of course, he was a big coward and he was mean to animals. So he got to die. And he did that.
Well, I just want to say, Bessy, I do 100%. And look, you know I love you ladies, but I am going to hard disagree with you here. The Mummy is totally a horror movie, like 100%. It's a remake of the Universal monsters, including our boy, the Mummy. Like, to me, The Mummy is 100% a horror film. Those bugs that go into your skin, like, there's nothing more horrifying than that. A mummy coming back to life, sucking the life out of people. Total horror movie.
It's so
Total
freaky.
horror.
Yeah, those bugs, I mean, it's grossed me out too. It's just the way they like go through your skin and get out the other way. I'm like, oh, it's so gross. Like, imagine it comes in your like underneath you and it come up your mouth, like through your butt and come out of your mouth. Or yeah. But
well, especially at that age, I could see why it would be so terrifying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
Imhotep himself, even when he's human, in human form, the dude's a scary guy. Like, before he becomes the Mummy, Lord Himepotep, whatever his name is, like, you're like, no, fuck that guy. He's scary. He's bald and he's mean. And,
he looks like a psychopath. Yeah, like it's like no emotions. He was just like, Imhotep. Like, I got my wife back. But, like,
I love it.
We wouldn't quit. Oh my gosh. Like my parents had to kick us to bed. I'm like, okay, you shaking too much. You go to bed. But I was like, well, I want to finish. I want
You're getting traumatized.
You're like, but I have to know. I'm invested now. I got to know what's going to happen, regardless of how scared I am.
Yeah.
It's all right, Mom. I got this. I promise. It's okay. I got it.
Sorry, guys. Cat butt.
Oh, that's cute.
Well, the cat butt is a perfect segue. Stephanie, what was your first horror movie?
Oh God, that movie still traumatizes me to this day. Poltergeist.
Oh, that's a good movie.
I am Lenore, honey. I know you want to be the
Lenore.
Right. She's like, I'm telling you guys, she's a wuss. Don't let her talk.
Yeah, no, she's like, don't listen to that pussy.
She's trying to make this be the Lenore show. No, that movie to this day, I can't listen to white noise, and I can't do white. Like if the screen turns to snow, I can't do it. It scares the hell out of me.
Oh no!
Well, you're worried that a hand is gonna pop out of that white screen.
God. I'm afraid something's gonna suck me in.
It's true. That's true. I think I got scared of television after watching that one.
Oh, that movie scared the hell out of me, which is weird because I'm not afraid of clowns. And there is a clown in there. I'm not afraid of that. But like I didn't like having trees right outside my window. Going over people's places where if the pool was drained, no thank you.
Yep.
I didn't like, there were so many things about that movie that scared me, just going to other people's places.
And Destiny, yes, there's a part where the little boy looks under his bed and there's nothing there. Then he comes up and a clown doll wraps its arm around the boy's neck and pulls him. I do want to bounce back to you real quick, Destiny, since I can't really talk much about your first horror movie because we don't know the name or anything else about it. But
I wonder, I want to have a guess. You said it's Brain Snatchers. Is it going to be that movie? There's a movie that called something of the Brain Snatchers.
Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
No, it's not that one. Okay.
Yeah, and I don't know, like I said, snatch your brain, but I don't know if they actually removed the brain or they just took the energy. Like I don't know.
I'll tell you what. Right now, I'm you know what? I'm throwing it down there right now. If anybody that's watching this can find out what movie it is for Destiny, you will win a free Sledgehammer horror Sledgehammer toy. So comment what the movie is, let me know, and the first person to figure out what Destiny's first horror movie is, you get a free Sledgehammer horror toy. That's how much I would like to watch this movie, and I know Destiny wants to watch this movie again. So if you can figure it out, let us know.
If we figure it out and we get to watch it for Final Girls, I'll do a shout out and I'll thank you.
Yeah,
on the
for sure. It would mean a lot to us. So Destiny, since we can't really talk much about that movie, which of the Final Girl episodes is your favorite because of the movie you watched?
Okay.
Listen, dear.
Okay, so Friday the 13th was really upsetting. It was so good. It was so good, but it was super duper duper upsetting. And oh man, it's hard. And then there were some that haven't come out yet. Like they haven't been produced. They're not on our channel yet. So I don't want to like spoil it for anybody, but there's some good films for that. Can I talk about a TV show real quick?
Of course.
Okay, so it's not a movie, obviously, but growing up, my parents would watch X-Files when we would go to bed.
I love that series.
And it was super scary. And at one point, I remember I don't remember how old I was. I could do the math if I knew what year this episode came out, but I went around the kitchen and to the side of the living room and just to the side of the couch. So my parents were there looking forward, watching the episode in the very beginning, and they didn't notice that I was there. And it was an episode that involved a giant worm inside this person. So this guy, somebody that works in the sewer, gets killed. And so Scully is doing an autopsy and being like, I don't see, like, there's a lot of bowel here. That's really strange, and some inflammation. And then all of a sudden the bowel shifts and just moves because it's a giant worm and not a tummy, not intestines. And the autopsy is open. So it's like, you can see all the guts and everything. And I just screamed to high heaven and scared the shit out of my parents because they didn't know I was there. So they put me to bed. And for years after that, like just hearing the theme song, like the music for X-Files, I would go running, just run down the hall. And then you do that running leap onto your bed, so like nothing can grab your ankles. Like,
I just picture you running down the hall like Jack Sparrow, and then leaping into the bed. But
like,
here's the thing, though. Like, if I was your dad, I would have taken you to bed. I would have kissed you on your forehead, and I would have said, "Destiny, I love you so much, sweetheart. And if you leave this room again, I'm feeding you a worm.
That does sound like my dad.
So Bessy, I want to bounce back to you real quick, talking about the Mummy.
We watched Armageddon, and I was crying after, and I was like, Dad. He's like, what? And I was like, please don't die. And he goes, go to bed.
So
please don't die. I'll try not to tonight. We have stuff to do tomorrow. After that, you're on your own.
Yeah, I can't die yet.
That's like me. Like I can't do it anymore because my children have done it enough. But every time when my kids were really little, I would drive by a cemetery and I'd say, you can't bury me there, guys. And they'd be like, why? I'd be like, because I'm not dead yet, assholes. Like I have a 2-year-old now, though, that I'll be able to do that to. Dad jokes. So Bessy, I do want to bounce back to the Mummy real quick. Like I said, I totally think that horror it goes in cycles, and the Universal monsters is something that is very special and very important to me. Mm-hmm. And Universal monsters is really getting a resurgence now. You just had the remake of The Invisible Man. You had that movie, what was it, the Black Water, which was really an homage to the creature from the Black Lagoon. The name's escaping me. I'm sorry.
Oh, the Guillermo del Toro one?
What was it?
The Guillermo del Toro one, the one that won the Oscar?
Oh, that was a great movie. I saw that
Shape
one.
of Water.
Shape of the Water, yes. That's a total homage to the creature from the Black Lagoon, which was my favorite Universal monster. And we've had numerous Frankenstein, we've had numerous Dracula movies. Like, I think that they are very important, the Universal monsters. I think if you wouldn't have had them, you would have never had your Jason Voorhees, your Freddy Krueger, your Michael Myers. That started with our Universal monsters and the Hammer horror, the Gothic horror. Now, the Mummy, I think, is something very special because of what they did with this remake, if you will. Do you remember which scene it was that truly affected you the most from the Mummy?
Oh boy, the whole thing.
Yeah, the minute it started to the minute it ended. That part right there.
But I never quit. Okay. So is it like affecting me as in like just scare the living hell out of me, or
it stuck with you, like the one that the moment that stuck with you the most?
Okay, I will go with what stuck with me. I think that's definitely when he turns into a cloud of sand, and he's like his face like coming out of it, and he's like rolling around the room, and like these people are slashing at them, like trying to get to him, and nothing can get to him. It's it's just sand. It's like a visible enemy in the room that is going to kill you if you don't do anything, but you can't do anything to them. It's like it affects me in a way where like shit, like there are like people and enemies like that out there, like they're there, they're just invincible. You just can't do anything to them. So what will you do in those situations? Flight or fight. So if you can't fight, you just run.
Yeah.
Well, so there are situations that you just gotta like be the smart one and run.
A lot of people are like, it's fight or flight. It's fight or flight. For me, it's flight or flight because I'm running no matter what. Like people are like, oh man, the zombie apocalypse happened.
Just remove your high heels first.
Dude, my thing is like, if there's a zombie apocalypse, I'm fucked. Like if there's a spider in my room, I want to burn my house down. What do you think's gonna happen if 10 zombies are running at me?
I honestly think with a lot of zombie movies, like I would be like screaming at the characters, like, just run out there. Why are you like sticking around trying to kill a few zombies? It doesn't matter. Like they're gonna get up anyway. Like someone else is gonna get you. Just run. Like save yourself, save your comrades, save the world of another extra zombie.
Nope, I'm giving my kids over. They're younger, they taste better. Take them. Give me 10 more minutes. I do want to say real quick, Bessy, the scene for me from the Mummy, and I don't know why this stuck with me for so long because I do love horror, but I'm a big comedy guy too. Horror comedy is probably my favorite. And there's a scene in the Mummy where Imhotep comes out and he screams and his face gets all loud. I love that scene so much.
Yes, I love that. I love Brendan in that movie. He's so great. He was so lovable. He was born for that role, I think. I don't know what happened to him afterwards. I don't think I saw him in other movies afterwards too much anymore. But
He's making a comeback. He's coming back.
He's starting to come back now.
yeah,
he experienced some abuse and some really terrible instances in the film industry. So he
something
bounced
happened
out for a while, but now he came back. I just saw him in a movie with Don Cheadle, and it was stupendous. It was great. I can't remember what it is.
He'll always be George of the Jungle to me.
Yeah, I was gonna say George of the Jungle was my favorite one.
He's always funny. He's a really funny guy. I know he's a super funny guy, but boy, I love the muscles that he's got and like that whole frame, like the what is it, the Speedo or whatever like he was wearing in
You have to watch
the
George.
Mummy.
Please continue.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. my crush.
I love the horror, but when he gets out of the water and it glistens,
Yeah.
that's when I was interested.
You have to have all of that in a horror, make it a wholesome horror picture.
Right. So Stephanie, I do want to bounce back to you with Poltergeist. We know that obviously it's a very effective movie, and we talked about it before we started rolling. In my opinion, one of the top 3 scariest PG horror films ever made. I don't think that anybody can argue that. Tourist Trap and Poltergeist to me are where it's at when it comes to scary PG horror. But what scene would you say is your favorite from Poltergeist?
Well, I haven't seen it again since I was pretty little.
I like the part where the names started scrolling up and I could shut it off. I thought that was pretty neat.
When it said it, when we were able to tell that it was finished, that was my favorite.
Oh boy.
Well,
that's really
we
scary.
talked about this film being cursed, and something that you were talking about earlier that we didn't really get to touch on that I wanted to circle back to is the swimming pool. Now, the reason a lot of people say this movie is cursed, obviously, if you other ladies haven't seen Poltergeist, there's a scene towards the end of the movie where she's in the pool and it's raining, and all these skeletons start popping up around her.
No.
The point of the movie is they built the house on an Indian burial ground, and these are supposed to be the skeletons of the Indians that had been buried because they were just digging the pool out.
They're kind of mummies too. They're just wet.
They used real human skeletons shooting this scene.
Did they really
do that?
These were genuine real human skeletons.
Oh my god!
And so that's why people think this movie
how
is
could they get
cursed.
credit for that?
However, real human skeletons have been used in movies since the early 50s. This is not nothing new.
They say that there's actually some human skeletons still on Pirates of the Caribbean in Disneyland.
Mm-hmm.
Disneyland?
It's a practice. I mean, just like when you go into a science room, you see the real skeleton there. Like, that's a real skeleton. You know, that's a person that's donated their body to science. And these are the type of things that, that's what they did. And a lot of people use that as why the movie is cursed, because they use real skeletons and they shoot that down really quick. They're like, if you knew all the movies that use real skeletons on their set, you wouldn't think this. But still, to be in that pool and having these skeletons come up around you, knowing you used to have skin, you might have been nice. I bet you were a dick that hurt animals. Like, that thing would really, really happen when these skeletons are coming up. So real quick, I do want to bounce back to you, Destiny. It is very hard to talk about your first horror movie when we don't know what it is. So let me ask you this. You talked about how you loved the episode of Friday the 13th. And I've been campaigning for a long time to have a Friday the 13th remake with Kathy Bates playing Mrs. Voorhees.
Oh my God, that's
awesome.
I think that would be the bee's knees. Like, that would be totally amazing to me. After watching the original Friday the 13th, is that a movie that you would like to see remade today? And I mean, because they've already done the Friday the 13th remake based around Jason Voorhees. I want to see a straight remake of Friday the 13th with the camp counselors. Is that something that you would like to see?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. We had so many questions like while we were watching Friday the 13th that I would love to get a little bit more information and a little bit more answers and have flesh out that story, which I think they go into at least a little bit in some of the other sequels of the Friday the 13th franchise. But to be able to see, like, giving that role to the goddess that is Kathy Bates and have her run with that, like, that would be amazing. I would love to hear her story and see that anguish that she feels.
She has that sinister side, like misery, like her role in misery. but like she also has the comedic chops, you know, like because she could really play that
Waterboy.
psychopath, sociopath
I'm
really
gonna
well.
ask a silly
You killed
question.
my boy.
I'm gonna ask a silly question. Is Kathy Bates the one in the Stephen King movie where she kills this one guy? Like she
Misery.
imprisons him on the.
She puts his feet.
I have never watched that, but like
she's
I
also the
think
mom in
that's the woman
Waterboy.
from that one. For
She's
where?
also the mom in the Waterboy.
The movie The
I haven't watched
Waterboy.
that either.
Oh, that's
That's
not a fun movie.
Bates
You
has
have to
not
watch
lived
the
her
Waterboy.
whole life.
Waterboy is hands down my
Her
favorite
credit
Adam
is
Sandler movie.
Waterboy.
I
The
love
Waterboy is hands down the best.
Oh, it's the Adam Sandler movie. I think I watched that one. It's like he was trying to become better at the
Football.
baseball or whatever, but the football. But he was like starting as a water boy. Oh, okay. I think I watched that one. It was so funny.
Yeah.
Okay, thank
I
you.
think like I said, everybody always talks about Billy Madison, Happy Gilmore. For me, it's The Wedding Singer,
Waterboy.
The Waterboy, and Bulletproof. Those are my Adam Sandler flicks that I go to. So, Bessy, I want to go back to you real quick. Remakes, obviously, like we were talking about, they're all the rage. But what I'm going to do now is, for a minute here, Destiny and Stephanie, you guys get to be cheater pumpkin eaters for a little bit. And Bessy is going to get put on the spot because I always ask this question to everybody that comes on. And I never tell anybody I'm going to ask it because that's how much of a genuine answer I want here. And with you guys not growing up horror, this may be a little harder for you. But my little buddy Ghostface now has a question for you. What's your favorite scary movie, Bessy?
Oh my god!
What is your favorite?
What the heck was that? What the? Like your voice changed. Like it's not the dolls. Your voice changed. Caught me off guard.
What would you say is your favorite horror movie?
That wasn't Ken talking. That was the
that was the doll. It wasn't me.
That wasn't Ken.
She's like, "Fuck, guys, I'm leaving."
Okay, I'm out of here. Okay.
She's all interview over.
See you guys next Saturday. What was my favorite horror movie? Was that? Yep. Okay. So this is a little bit of like I think underrated horror movie, and I don't even know it's actually horror, but it's called The Blob. And I only found out the name. Oh yeah, you know about it? Kind of.
I haven't seen it, but I know of it. Yeah.
Well, hold on, Bessy. Are you talking about the one from the 30s or the remake from the 80s?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, it looked really old, but it has like color. So I guess
then it's the 80s one.
Okay. Yeah. That movie, I think like I had a strange curse with that movie because every time it came on, my parents would somehow make me either go take a nap or go do my homework or go do some chores. Like I could never finish it. I'm like, Mom, it's that movie again. I just want to finish it. Let me finish it. But I finally finished it, like not around the same time that it kept showing up on HBO. I finally finished it like a few months later. And then, where'd you go? SledgeHammerhorror. I finally finished it, and then I don't know what the name of the movie is because I was always coming in at a weird like time, and I never could find a name movie. And I swear you not, like I would be like Destiny, like it stays in my mind. We're like, what is that movie? And I like search all kinds of terms possible on Google, and I found out it's The Blob. But yeah, it was one of my most favorite horror movies. I don't think there's much anything else like it out there.
Right. I love the fact that you're like, I didn't really know what it was, and Destiny was like, I know your pain, girl. I know your pain. so now, Stephanie, Ghostface is back. What's your favorite scary movie, Stephanie? What is your favorite horror movie of all time?
Wow. Well, I think it counts as one. Well, with the girls, my favorite has been Halloween. Okay. That I've watched with the girls. It's been the original Halloween. But my all-time favorite horror movie, because I'm really a big Guillermo del Toro fan. So I guess Pan's Labyrinth is considered a horror.
Oh, that's a good awesome movie.
And I will actually watch that movie over and over again because it's just so beautifully done.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Guillermo del Toro, knows what he's doing when it comes to
Yeah.
filmmaking. And I'm one of those people that think horror is completely subjective, and it's the hardest genre to nail down because you can't say, well, what makes a movie a horror movie? It has to be scary. I don't believe that because I was scared to death of Pee-wee's Big Adventure as a kid with a Large Marge scene.
Oh, Large Marge, sent you.
Yeah, that scared me. But I don't think Pee-wee's Big Adventure is a horror movie, but it's scary. It has
I had that same reaction to Howard the Duck when
I'm not Howard anymore. Yeah, for
well,
sure.
with the one
Howard
guy when the thing comes out of his mouth, and you're like,
what?
That's
Was that
Rudy from Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Was it Courage the Cowardly Dog? Because there was an episode in Courage the
I love
Cowardly
Courage.
Dog. Scared the shit out of me. Like I think it's an alien dog. Alien Destiny. An alien dog.
Horror
He's
is so
trying
hard
to
to
cook.
say. What makes a
You
horror
know what?
movie? It
Courage
has to
was
have death.
amazing.
The Lion King has death in it. The Lion King isn't a horror movie. So for me, it's really hard to say this is a horror movie. This is not a horror movie. That's why I think horror is subjective. The scariest movie I've ever seen was probably like The Day After Tomorrow. And I don't really consider it a horror movie. It's a disaster movie, but that just scares me. Like the world ending, and I'm like, hey, my kids are going to die, and I can't.
It's with the chill, right? You get real cold.
Yeah.
The scare me after horror movies like the most is definitely like real life like crime stories. It's like, oh, this shit can really happen to me. That's what scares me.
That's how I felt after watching Silence of the Lambs when I was younger and I was working at a gas station, and I remember watching Silence of the Lambs, and every one of my customers that walked in, I was like, oh my God, that person probably wants to eat me. That person there will probably want to eat me too.
Because like one guy came in with chapstick and was like, would you fuck me? I fuck
Goodness.
No, it's not their fault that you look delicious. Like, I'm sorry.
Yeah, that dude. I mean, like,
You're
no,
right.
you can go home.
Personal responsibility.
Do it
I
yourself.
watched the Silence of the Lambs, and she was like, "Oh fuck, I'm a snack. Now I'm dead. I'm done. It's a wrap." It's funny because, like, here's the thing, and this is, and like, I'm not making light of this because, well, I mean, it genuinely is a sad and scary thing. But like, if I'm in a room and you three ladies are in a room, the odds that someone's picking me to try to take out is very slim. You know, like it's just that's a sad world we live in. Is women are preyed upon more than men. Yeah. And you know, I make light of it with you being a snack or whatever, but I have two baby girls, and you know that's the scariest thing in the world to me is them going somewhere and me not being able to find them and protect them. Like as a father, that's the only job I have left is to make sure that they're okay. And I feel so bad because women go through a whole lot more in life, even with horror. You know, when I have a lot of female friends that are amazing horror ladies that have knowledge like you wouldn't fucking believe, but they get gatekeeped all the time. Like, oh, you like horror? What happened 25 minutes into Halloween 3 season of The Witch? If you're a real horror, it's like, shut up, dude. These women come into more about horror than you do, but because they don't have the same genitals, like,
go watch it.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. I was gonna say I get that all the time because people will see the Dragon Ball tattoos and they're like, you don't watch that. I'm all Yamcha, say what?
Yeah, I just tattooed it because I thought it was cool looking.
You know, because it's interesting. Yeah, but no, I get that all the time. No, you don't know anything about that.
I mean, it would be one thing you only have Dragon Ball tattoo, a Dragon Ball Z tattoo, and like something else like American tattoo, but you have like Mononoke on there, Pokemon. Like this, you're definitely anime fan. Like, come on.
Yeah, but it's just funny when I do get something like that. I'm like, okay.
Right.
Like,
dude, I don't ever get that.
Watch that.
No one looks at my tattoos and goes, "Oh man, you don't like baseball. Oh man, you don't like art." You know, like I don't get that shit ever. Like, and it's bullshit, man. I'm sorry that you ladies have to go through what you go through. Like, it's a super bummer. Like, I'm glad I don't go through it. I know that sounds mean, but I'm sorry. I know it sucks. But Destiny, what's your favorite scary movie?
Aliens.
So I was actually trying to, because I love thrillers. Like I love psychological thrillers. So I was trying to decide between Silence of the Lambs, and I do absolutely love Silence of the Lambs, But Copycat with Sigourney Weaver.
Ooh.
I love that movie. I will watch that movie. It's one of the few DVDs that I still have, and not like it's in my entertainment center that I can like throw in to put it in the PlayStation.
You talk about a goddess. Sigourney Weaver is a goddess. So,
oh man, she's
amazing. Ladies, I've had such an
hard.
amazing time hanging out with you and learning how horror started. I got one last question for you. We're gonna go back to. I won't be able to do this one with you, Destiny. Unfortunately, you know what? Fuck it. Yes, I can. What we're gonna be doing is we're ranking your first horror movie on a skull count. Now, what we're doing, we're not judging the movie on acting or score or direction or anything like that. We're not being critics. What we're doing now is we're strictly judging this movie on how much it affected you. So 0 skulls being not effective, 5 being extremely effective. You can use half and quarter skulls anywhere in the middle. Destiny, what would your skull ranking of Alien Brain Massacre be?
I mean, it's one of my very earliest memories. I would say at least 3 skulls.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's the thing. Like, I would love, like I said, that's going out to you if you can tell me the name of that movie. I would love to find out what this is. And I would love for you to be able to watch it again to see if it's as great as you remember it.
So freaking curious.
Yeah.
Inquiring.
We've watched an alien film yet, too.
No, we haven't.
Yeah, we haven't touched aliens.
See?
I would love to see it.
And you guys can make that happen. So, now, Bessy, I'm going to go to you. The Mummy, 0 to 5 skulls. What would you rank The Mummy on how it affected you?
Okay, I'm gonna put it a 5, definitely, because I was shaking like a leaf. And I swear, when I go to bed, like by parents' force, I saw Imhotep face outside my window. I literally saw his face outside the window. It is sand form, yes. And I was like, okay, yeah, it was the right decision not to finish that movie. I was like, let's go to bed.
That's awesome.
And I was so happy that I had my sister with me. Otherwise, I don't think I could have slept that night. So,
in the episode we just did, you guys have seen this. They were talking about how after they watched It from 1990 and the clown came up through the sink, or through the shower drain, I'm sorry, they asked their sister to go in the bathroom with them while they took a shower because they were scared. And I was like, man, I had a brother and he'd have been like, get your ass in the fucking shower. And then I'd have gone in the shower and he'd have been like, we all throat, Ken. Like, me the whole time. Like, I wish I had a sister that would have did that shit. Hey, go to the bathroom with me. My brother's been like, you need me to hold it for you, you pansy? Get your ass in the shower. So now, Stephanie, I do want to bounce back to you.
Sorry, boys were mean.
Right. Your skull count for Poltergeist, what would you give it 0 to 5 skulls? I figured.
Because, like I said, to this day, that movie still haunts me. Like I said, I still can't do white noise. I still can't do snow on the TV. Like if I have that brief moment of a movie turning off and I'm just like, oh, hell no. No.
Right.
No.
It's gonna go wrong.
Make it stop.
Well, again, ladies, I've had such an amazing time with you. And guys, not only do I have their social media links down here in the description that you should be following by now, I also have the YouTube channel, The Final Girlz, which you should already be subscribed to by now because 2 days ago, you saw the first 3 of these 6 beautiful women talk about this. So you should already be subscribed to The Final Girlz YouTube channel. But now you get the chance to follow the rest of the 6 on social media right down here in the description. So, ladies, please don't go anywhere. I have a couple more questions for you. Everyone else, as always, keep talking horror, stay what you are, and we'll see you guys soon.